And we are live. We are here with our good friend, Derek Farmer. How are you, Farmer, man? Happy to have you here again.
Cryptex, it is a pleasure to be here with you and your audience once again.
I
Uh,
missed you, man. I missed you. So you have a new computer, huh?
I do have a new computer. My brother-in-law, I want to say, John, thank you so much for taking a little mercy on me and sending me yet another computer. I hope it's working well. I hope everybody can hear me okay.
Audio is awesome and video as well, man.
Good.
Yeah, perfect.
Excellent. I've
Uh,
been doing well, actually. I think probably the last time we spoke, I was sort of trying to get my house on the market and so forth. I've done that now. It's listed. I've had some showings, some pretty positive showings. I've been on the market about a week, and it's going well. And looking forward to selling it ASAP and getting on the road and coming to meet. I might just bring a delivery to wherever you're at, just to have a cup of coffee with you, Cryptex. You never know.
I hope you can sell the house really soon, man. You
I hope
deserve it. You worked hard in your house, painting and doing a lot of stuff, man.
it's been a journey.
Yeah. You're looking good, man.
One that sometimes is filled, with wet leaves and dog shit, much like fall.
Yeah, man. And you're looking really good. The
Thank
other time I saw you, you were very skinny. I was a little bit worried, man. But you're looking really good, man. Happy to see you like that.
Well, I wish I could say I was on a diet plan, and if the diet plan is poverty, consider me successful. I was completely poverty stricken, but I'm getting out of that now, and so I can maybe cook a little food again. As sad as that sounds, but there are still people that don't just have daily sustenance. Not myself withstanding.
Things are getting better, man. And if
But they're
you
getting
come to
better.
the house soon, that's gonna be awesome, man. So we have here Matt Sullivan. Hello, Matt. Happy
Hey, Matt.
to have you here. Fitman. We have Shane.
Man, what's up, bro?
Cripps and Farmer, great surprise for a Sunday night. Good to see you both. Thank you, Shane.
Shay Watson, love Shay.
Yeah, man. Digital, excellent. So we have a good crew today.
Digital, of course. Yep. Bitman, that's good friend of mine. So I've been noticing Cryptex that you've been much like that guy from Guided by Voices, very prolific lately, like putting out like 2 shows a day and stuff. What's going on with you, man? You just got a creative streak lately? What's going on?
No. I have a little bit more of time those days, and yeah, I wanted to talk about Delphi with you. As I was telling you, I missed you. So, and I'm really interested about your feedback about the verdict. And tonight I'm gonna be with Barbara Hall. We're gonna talk about the case of her son who was murdered in 2022. So that's gonna be for tonight. So
you're doing another live tonight. You're doing?
Yeah, with her.
Wow.
So,
I will try to be there to moderate for that for sure.
Great, man. Thank you for that. So do you want to start with Delphi?
No. That throws you off, huh, Cryptex? No, I want to start with Flora, Indiana. Might be a town you heard of. It's near Delphi. It happens to be a town where 4 little girls were, just doing their thing, going to school, going to cheer, going to the pizza joint, doing whatever, running around town, riding their bikes. And then one night, a greedy son of a bitch burnt the house down and murdered them. That's what I want to talk about first, okay? I want to talk about the Flora 4. Say their names. We have Kiana, Kiara, Kiriel, and Kiani, okay? And we're not going to forget these girls ever until this case is gone. And even then, we're not going to forget them. But we have got to remember that justice needs to be served to whoever did that. Now, I'm not saying it was a serial killer, a rapist, or anyone like that. But if you, in the act of a felony, remember, we're in Indiana. Well, we're not, thank God, in Indiana, but they were in Indiana, unfortunately. But if you commit a felony in Indiana that is a serious felony, and trust me, fire is a felony, and someone dies in the process of that, in my opinion, just like Bridge Guy, just like whoever, just like all that other stuff, you're eligible for the DP. What do you think?
shame on me. I'm ignorant about the Flora case, man. So I really don't have too much.
I'm shaking right now.
I don't have too much to add to the conversation, man. Maybe you can
well, this is more of a shout out. I don't have much to add yet either, because it'd be ignorant on my part to try to add too many details to something I haven't researched, properly. And I don't want to be disrespectful in any way to the family, to Rose, who I've spoken with on someone else's show, a strong guiding woman, who I look up to greatly. Their mom, working 2 and 3 jobs, trying to get by with four kids as a single mom. My mom was a single mom when I was up until I was about 4.5 years old. And so I can relate to that. I remember those days, how hard she had to work 2 jobs to keep a roof over the head while you shared bedrooms in small places. I get it. And she's a hero to me. And this case needs to be solved. And today, as a matter of fact, at 4:00 right now, I'm not sure what time Indiana is on. I said it's probably about 1978 in Indiana. I have no idea. But 4:00 anyways, they're doing a walk for the girls. And they're doing that from, I think, the courthouse to their bench. So I just wanted to highlight that really quick, and then we can move on. But I did want to say that first, that I'm not going to forget about them, and that once I get stable, which happens with the sale of my house, it'll definitely become more of a focus in my life. Cryptex, go ahead. That's what I got to start the show. Well, I did have one. I'm sorry. I do have something on Delphi also that I want to say initially. As you did ask me about the trial and the outcome of that. I respect the outcome of the trial. The process is the process for a reason. Now, if people have a problem with the outcome of that trial, there is an appeals process, that he has, that he can go through, and if those issues arise, let's hope that good science and whatever, if there is an issue there, either implicates more people or does something. But other than that, I'm comfortable with the decision that the jury made. That's 12 people that came together out of hearing all that evidence, and they said, you know what, you're guilty, not just on 1 or 2 counts, but on all the counts. So I don't feel like that decision takes away from the fact that somebody else may be involved in this case. With that being said, but I do want to say, first of all, thank you, Cryptex, for during the process of the last 5.5 years, from what I can tell, but at least the last year that I've known you, not creating a narrative while doing broadcasts that maybe brought up ideas that weren't mainstream ideas or whatever. And that goes for some other content creators too on YouTube. I think that maybe mistakes made at first with maybe over accusing, like, say, people or something. I think people with a heart and with a brain learned through that process. And I feel that Livy and Abby would be sort of proud and even maybe want to be a part of some of the web sleuth community when it comes to being respectful to family, to making sure you're not accusing people in the open that have to never do that regardless. First of all, even if someone's been charged, for somebody to be sitting on this side of the camera making those accusations, to me, isn't what it's about. Just go where it goes. Let the process guide. I think we learned that over time, and I feel that going forward, we're going to be a stronger community for it. That's what I wanted to say, but you're part of that, Cryptex, and I wanted to just say thank you also to Mr. Steve from True Crime Web, to Broadcast Heroes of Mine, Sleuth Intuition, who has really good morals when it comes to web sleuthing. Kristen from Behind the Crime Door, of course, uses the AP standards on reporting when she does her broadcasts, and that means something, guys. Sonny, Adam, Deb, all of your respective shows. You guys are so incredible, and I just want to say thank you to all of you on behalf of the web sleuth community.
Great. Excellent. And we have to remember the creators that are not anymore with us, like Michael Catt, like Sean Harmon,
Sure.
like Bruiser.
Sure.
Yeah, man. And there are great creators here in the community.
There was
people that are not doing content anymore, like True Crime Jesus.
Yeah.
The boss, man. And yeah, I think, man, that
I wanted to say one more quick thing though to just wrap that, and I'm sorry, then I'll shut my mouth for a minute.
Go ahead.
With that being said, we did go through that process. The trial's over. He's been convicted. So let's dish. Let's fucking dish now. Go ahead, Cryptex.
No. Good point, man. But okay, now that you said that, what are your feelings, man? You just said that, if I understood well, you think that this was not a lone wolf situation, right?
No. I don't think it was a lone wolf situation. No, I don't feel that in my heart. And people can say whatever they want. I'm not creating a narrative because I don't have names and I don't have, thank you, Steve. I don't have that stuff, but in my heart, in my opinion, do I think it was a one person singular act with no pre facto or post facto knowledge of this crime? No, I don't believe that.
Yeah, and I think if we are talking about full justice, we need to have all the actors behind bars, right? So today, and I'm no one here, but my feeling is that today we cannot say that there was full justice in this case. And
right.
This is sadly, in my opinion, there are multiple actors.
Listen, don't kid yourself. There can never be full justice when two innocent girls are murdered, no matter if you were to take Richard Allen apart stem by stem and try to make him go through everything they went. That's still not justice for them because they're no longer here to even see what we're calling justice. So there can be no justice. But what there can be is peace of mind for the people that remain that love them. That's what there can be, in my opinion. And maybe if they're looking down from somewhere better than here, maybe they can go, you know what? We got you assholes. Maybe that's what they can do. And that will make me feel good because I don't like people getting away with crap like this.
Yeah, I at least we need to have that satisfaction. Let's say that everybody that was involved in this horrible case was finally put behind bars. But my feeling is that we are never gonna know the whole story, man. And that's
probably
really
not. Sleuth intuition told me that, right from me. He goes, it could be possible to where everyone gets charged, everyone goes to prison, and we still don't know what the full story is. And I think that rings true now. There are, with that being said, a few people around this case that we've talked about over time, and also some what I'll call potential trajectory changing events, because that used to be a word I'd throw around a lot. And I thought, well, why did I do that? What did it used to mean? And what it means is, what were they going through on the day or two before, during, and well, you can't say after, but up until the point that they were murdered, that is different than what they were planning. Because they had their own plan. Here you got 13 and 14-year-olds, right? They're young. They have the day off from school. That already feels like a vacation, be it 1 or 10 days in a row. Doesn't matter. That was their day, that Monday off. I think they had the Friday previous off, long weekend, right? So they have in their head a series of events that want to take place. I want to know why we didn't get to see or hear about. And again, I haven't looked through the transcripts of the trial. And please correct me in chat if I'm wrong. Of the metadata that comes out of the Patty home, from the metadata that comes out of the Williams home, I'd like to know what's in that metadata, because that could show potential connections to the spider web of bullshit previous to the murder. Okay, moving on. So I do think there were some people and trajectory changing events. Of that, I've listed 5 quick people that I think, and I'm just gonna still use initials, I guess, because, I just don't want to be that guy that's just throwing names out there. We have the Ks, the TKs, and the KKs. We know where that stands, okay? I think TK up to, and to me, it's like if I ever heard him say that he took part in it, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Boom, moving on. KK, ski mask incident, sleepover meeting of Anthony Schott's profile. Again, was that something that her and a girlfriend talked over and she happened to meet Anthony Schatz, or was that something more planned where a third party outside of those two, like say maybe a third roommate of Keggers and whoever that other friend douchebag number 1 was, that lived with them, wanted her to meet? That's important to me. Moving on, we have BW, the Snowbird family. You guys know what I'm talking about with the shoe tree. All right. We got the white van. It's coming down the private drive at 2:28 p.m., which forever was reported at 3:15, but okay, 2:28. So like if you're putting sticks there and stuff and arranging them in patterns, but yet you claim to be now I'm not saying the patterns have anything to do with Odinism or whatever per se, but the fact that they weren't in a certain pattern isn't I don't think in denial. It wasn't just as if someone threw them over their heads backwards and the sticks landed randomly, correct, Cryptex? In your opinion?
I cannot understand how some people still thinks that that was an attempt to conceal the bodies. It doesn't make sense at all. How can you even think about that? Of course, it was not an attempt to conceal the bodies. It was the opposite. It was an attempt to present the bodies. Come on, the pattern is really weird. There were sticks on the throats of the victims, just on the injuries. It was a pool of blood at the crime scene, and there were sticks in an asterisk form over that pool of blood. So what do you think? The killer was trying to conceal the pool of blood? It's stupid.
I mean, to me, what did Robert Ives say? It was a scene that you'd want to take a picture of. It was an odd scene. It was all those things. Excuse me while I grab a little taster's choice.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so moving on. So then, okay, that's 3. Now 4, we got we have a professionally trained police officer who went to the Police Academy Training 101, which involves sexual assault training. It involves interviewing witnesses, blocking off crime scenes, and doing actual crime scene investigation. His name is Daniel Doolin. I will say his name because he's paid by the public. He's a lieutenant of the Department of Natural Resources. He's not a fish and game fucking warden. Okay? He might have been one once, but that's a federal designation within a state land conservancy. The Mary Gerard Land Conservancy is a real thing, and Brad Weber's driveway goes right through the heart of it. I wonder if they ever met. Moving on. Betsy Blair. Oh, oops, BB. Sorry, but if you're going to be a witness to one of the major parts of the case, I'm just going to say your name. Betsy Blair. Takes her a half hour to take a shit. We all know about her. Sole witness to Young Bridge Guy sketch, right? Which was the impetus of the Changing Direction press event. All about going from old to young, all about Betsy Blair, all about one witness. I don't buy it. I don't buy something. Something stinks. And it probably was that shit Betsy Blair took. Okay, connections, Marathon, Shell on the Hill, gas station, rumor. Keegan knew the old owners of Shell on the Hill, which turned into the Marathon, and they all went to school together and ran together. Why the hell do you need to search for it on your phone? Who was using Keegan's phone? Next, Trexler's. Landlord of Trexler's traced to Mexico, Indiana. Small town, 943 people. What the fuck? Moving on. Anthony Schott's profile. Enough said about that. David Erskine. Owned property with Trexler. Rumor. Derek German bought a house on Staten Island right around the time of the murders. Also a rumor. Book closed. What do you got, Cryptex?
You did your homework, man. You are well prepared. No, for sure. There's a lot of elements here that I think my feeling is that they were not fully investigated. And that bothered me. I'm not a legal person. I don't know anything about law.
I'm just a pizza.
But when the judge said or stated that some things or some third-party actors couldn't be brought to the process because there was no nexus, I think the nexus is there, man. They were.
Let's talk about what that word means really quick for maybe some viewers or guests that don't exactly know. Nexus again is what now? Besides a really good hair shampoo?
Yeah, something like that. Is that when you can prove that that actor was directly involved in the crime, so you can place that person at the crime scene, let's say. And when we talk about the clients, you know that there was a catfishing scenario there. Keegan Klein and Tony Klein, sure. Anthony Schott, they were communicating with Libby. Yeah. Keegan confessed at the Grissom Air Force Base that they were there on the 13th, the
day
of the murders. That Keegan was waiting in a red Jeep when his father was committing the crimes. Remember that we had here in our show Justice Serve the Daily. She knows a lot about the crimes. Her theory about the red Jeep is that that was actually a red herring, that the crimes were maybe using another type of car, because a red Jeep is going to be evident. It's going to be spotted right away. But you have that interrogatory or that interrogation of Keegan Klein at the Grissom Air Force Base. Right away, you have the search of the Wabash River. And right after that, you have the arrest of Richard Allen. So common sense tells me that there is a nexus there. So now if we go to the legal system, and this is not a nexus, I'm so fucking stupid because I don't understand that, man. The nexus is there. And other people can say the same thing for other actors. So
that's what's so crazy about this case, is you could probably put a nexus with more than one person, but I mean, is that just twisting and bending it the way you want? But here you have a person that has insisted they were involved. So I feel like it has a little more gravitas than just rumor or speculation. Yeah.
There's a good comment here from Matt. Can you read it?
Absolutely. It says the judge left the definition ambiguous to prevent jurisdiction, but I'm sorry, I switched from reading it from one place. The judge left the definition ambiguous to prevent jurisdiction from the appeal. By not defining what a nexus is, they couldn't establish one. That said, there certainly is a nexus with RL at least.
Ron Logan, the nexus is there. The girls were found at their property, at their land. There was like a cell phone, some calls that we know that they were connected to the Ron Logan cell phone, and you can continue. So I don't understand, man. And that's why a lot of questions are going to remain without an answer. And this is really, really, really sad, man.
I don't recall having such good telepathic skills that I knew when to think to have an alibi before bodies were found. Just saying.
Yeah, man. So
yeah, it's all, there's a lot of questions still, I mean, for the longest time, I could have swore they were reporting that Weber came down the driveway at I said I wasn't going to use names. I screwed that. Sorry, I screwed that all up already, you guys. But anyways, he pulled a gun on two chicks. Whatever. He can deal with it. He's a big boy. BW there. I lost my train of thought. Anyways, I don't know. Oh, the original timeline I thought was that he got out of work around 3, and around 3:15 he may have. And all of a sudden he's pulling in at the same time someone's going down the hill, but that's before the crime happened. That's before the murder happened. So to say that scared him out of there, but then you're taking sticks and placing them neatly in a weird pattern, something's not adding up, guys. I'm sorry, but something smells like poopy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cryptex.
No, exactly. That's a really good point you have here, Farmer. If the hypothesis is that the killer, Richard Allen, let's say, was in a panic mode because he was spotted by a white van. So when you are in a panic mode, you're not going to take time to place sticks in a specific pattern on the bodies. That doesn't make sense at all, man.
It doesn't make any sense at all, unless you knew what vantage point you were covering up and whose house you could see it from. And the only way to know is I have to be there one time and see it for your own self. So who did you know and who knew what? Because somebody knew something somewhere, man. I mean, and if not, and you know what, like I said, I'll be respectful of the decision. I certainly wouldn't want to upset the family, and I certainly wouldn't want to accuse anyone not involved. I'm just saying these questions still remain. And with somebody like Doolin, who quite frankly is paid by the public, he deserves to be asked, not necessarily by Derek Farmer from Kalamazoo, Michigan, but by some kind of committee or panel. why after 5.5 years, even around the water cooler, you didn't mention you talked to a guy, same age, same clothes, put himself there on that day at that time of the murders, but you forgot to mention it to anyone. Now, you've had full law training as a full lieutenant of the Department of Natural Resources. It's a requirement.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I know that me too. I respect the verdict. I think that the jurors were really smart, but they didn't have the whole information, you know. So they made their point with the information that was presented during the case, you know.
Right.
So that question is for you. If you were a juror, what would you vote at that time? With the information presented during the case.
Oh, guilty.
Guilty?
I would have went, sure. Yeah, he's guilty. I feel fine with that. Charges. I'm fine with they got one guy that did it. I'm saying, who did they miss? That's all I'm saying. I feel like Richard Allen has some if he's covering for somebody that did the actual murder, well, he's still in my head guilty enough to be guilty. So he's guilty. You know, he was there, man. He was bridge guy, in my opinion. He looks like bridge guy. He walks like bridge guy. He's short. Okay, there's not, look, 5'4", 5'5" in corn-fed Indiana. That is short. I still contend he tried to heighten by a couple inches because that's the one thing you can do for free that changes your entire appearance. You don't have to change your color. You don't have to change your hair. You don't have to shave anything. Just change your height by 3 inches, and it's definitive. That ain't you.
Yeah, man. Bothers me a lot. And what do you think about the earphone connection or potential connection to the Libby's phone?
Well, that comes down to forensics. I mean, that's some scientist type saying that someone plugged in a headphone, right? Isn't that what the crux of that was?
Yeah, well, according to the log of the data extracted from that cell phone, there's a log saying that there was a connection and a disconnection after from an auxiliary device or earphone or something like that. And apparently law enforcement, they didn't care to investigate that further. They were doing a Google search, the date of the testimony. So this is really bad because a lot of people say that that could be a moisture or humidity factor or dirt. It's really weird, man. I'm seriously, I'm not buying that. To me, the most well,
it sounds like
explanation is that there was really a connection there, but it's just me.
It sounds like to me people are conflating two issues. One, the phone cycled on and off at 5 a.m. Now it sounds like there is a separate issue of they have discovered forensically that there were headphones plugged into that phone for a certain time at a time when there should not have been headphones plugged into that phone. Now, I'm not a scientist. If scientists are saying that through some kind of forensic breakdown of the metadata and the physical phone, fine. That's disturbing information. That's all I can say.
Yeah, man. It bothered me that was not properly investigated, you know. So still again.
So I mean, they waited until a week before or during the trial started to check the hair that was. Suddenly, it's like, to me, details are important, very important. Like, so you got one group of people saying there was a hair in Abby's hand, right? You got another group of people saying there was a hair twisted around the finger of Abby. Now, I want to know how many revolutions did it go around, because details are important.
Right. The devil is in
the details. In any case, why the hell did you wait till during the trial to test it? That's ridiculous.
That's insane, man. I cannot understand that. There was a lot of sloppy.
It's not satire, folks. This really happened.
Yeah. Can you read that comment from Matt? It's interesting.
Matt Sullivan says, RA's phone was missing. It's weird. That said, forensic testing was done on the data from it, and it showed him exiting the area at 2:15 p.m. The judge prevented the geocache reports proving that. Matt, I'd ask for your source on that, but I know you're not going to give it up, so forget that. We'll just have to put that in the weird pile, man. I mean, that's real weird, man. I agree. What else can I say? More bullshit. More stuff that doesn't make any sense in this case. I mean, figuring out if there was, a junior in the Patterson Gimlin film is easier than figuring out what the hell is going on in this case. But go ahead.
No, man. Just makes me mad not to have the answers we were waiting for during 7 years. And the
what I'd like to know is, what does Becky Patty feel? How is she feeling after this? Does she feel satisfied that this is a wrap, or are things sticking in her craw that something ain't right? Because I tend to go with what the victim's family is feeling. If they're satisfied, I'd be tending to be more satisfied. If they're going, well, listen, we ain't saying nothing yet, but there's some bullshit going on, well, I'm gonna definitely be right on their side for that. If that's how they're feeling. So
yeah, man.
But I don't want there to be a conspiracy. I really don't. I want it to be over. I want to be wrong. Absolutely want to be wrong on the 79 odd coincidences that have happened. I don't know if I am or not. Maybe just being right on one of them, if it indicated conspiracy, would really be a game changer. So it doesn't take much to sort of change things up.
No, exactly. And guys like you and me, we can talk in this way based on the information we have. But look at this.
Yeah.
Take the example of Steve from True Crime Web. He's the perfect guy to talk about whatever he wants to say, because he's an expert, he's an elegant person, he's decent, and he made a whole show talking about how weird is that the girls, they don't have defensive wounds, defensive injuries. So
he's seen a couple cases in his life,
and he, of course he's not a conspiracy theorist, but he's pointing that element there. No, so what's behind that? There were multiple people, at least 2 killers, man. It's not one person scenario here. And
well, I can't say it definitively, because without some kind of corroborating evidence, just to be able to see like video or a deer cam or something like that, not that I would want to see that, I wouldn't even watch it, but someone verifying that. Shay's asking a question. I'm going to read that really quick. How did their clothes end up the way they were, not answered in trial? That seems important to me. My issue is still on due process. That won't ever change. Guilty or not guilty, we can never know. You're right. Why didn't they talk about how the clothes got transferred from one to the other? That seems really, really relevant to someone's guilt.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's insane. It's insane.
No DNA rationale, no nexus, finding conclusion, legal error, plain and simple. I mean, Mike, you're probably right there, Simdal says, precaution, his incarceration conditions puts everything on shaky ground, in my opinion. Still think he's guilty, just not proven. I agree. I mean, I think, it sounds like he went through some crap, but if anyone's ever been to prison, which I haven't. I said that like I was going to say I've been to prison, but I've never even been to jail, honestly.
What do you think, Farmer, about the confessions?
Well, I mean, if we can glean one thing out of there that wasn't public knowledge, then they're all relevant, in my opinion. If we can't find one thing that wasn't public knowledge, then none of them are relevant, in my opinion. But that's Derek Farmer's opinion, a pizza guy from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah, man. And when we have the behavior of this psychologist, Dr. Walla, there's food for the doubt, I think that it's probable that she was feeding information to Allen. And look, law enforcement was feeding law enforcement was feeding information to Allen since day one. when Holman was interviewing Richard Allen, he was telling him about the bullet. And even if you read the transcript,
I want to say something that Anna's saying. I'm sorry, but go ahead. If you
okay.
can highlight Anna's comment, though, I do want to bring it up after you are done making your point. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I apologize.
No problem, no problem. So Holman was talking about the distance between the bullet and the foot of Libby, 6 inches. Why are you talking about that specific information during an interview with a suspect? You don't say that shit, man. If they are saying that they are trying to hide the information from the killer or from the suspects, and you are just telling him that in that interview, so how can you trust Dr. Walla after? If Holman was already talking about the bullet and the distance between the bullet and the foot. I mean, makes me mad. Go with Anna's comment.
Yeah. No, I was just sort of soaking in what you were saying, and anyways, but Anna does bring up a point. Offender could have told the girls to lay face down. They may have been together, could have done something like that, and he could have done it so quickly. If to them both, that's why I was saying earlier that I can never be 100%. You know, like I'll take Mr. Steve's obviously on the ground experience over any other web sleuth and most officers, but even he would probably admit, although I would never speak for him, that there can never be 100% unless there's 100%, like, you know, on video or something, you know, like, so she does, Anna, you do bring up a point that in a situation where a person knows they're going to kill someone else, also then you're assuming that you know how people in that situation would act, you know, as if there would be a defensive wound. Now, some people may be defensive. Some people may think their best defense is a good defense and play possum. Some people may think it's a good offense. And it may just depend on what, on you know, what your breaking point is emotionally at that time too, depending on how you react in that situation. I've been in the situation, not exactly like theirs, thank goodness. It was much worse for them. But, you know, I've been in a dangerous situation at a young age, 11 years old, in a national forest with a gun to my head and a mask. You know, I didn't have the mask; the offender did, and so I can tell you that not every. And in fact, it'd probably be different if that happened to, like, being struck by lightning to somebody twice in their life. It would probably be different every single time, because to predict how you would act in a situation where a killer, and you suddenly realize your life is in jeopardy, and you know that in your young mind right there, and there's no one around to help you in that dark forest until that conservation officer pulls over that ridge and saves your life. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, Matt Sullivan is talking about 70 hairs that were found while processing the crime scene, one of which was on Abby's finger. So there were more than one, according to Matt.
That makes sense if there's transfer and that kind of stuff. But, you know, again, that's forensics, and unless I could look at the full picture, I really have no comment on forensics. I can't. I would only be ignorant comments, because I'd be ignorant to all the science of it. You know, until I knew all of the science of it. Like, if you say 70 hairs, well, how many of them had follicles? Were they just loose hairs? Were they ripped out? I mean, these are details that matter.
Yeah, 100%, man. Quietly concerned says terrible investigation, terrible trial, and still nothing makes sense.
I can't argue with you quietly or loudly, for that matter, because I'm not going to argue with that. It's a true statement. Go ahead, next.
So, yeah, in the same sense, remember that statement from one of the crime scene technicians saying that they didn't collect the sticks because those were items of not evidentiary value. What?
No, just oversight, you know.
How incompetent can you be, man?
Right, I know they put 14,000 tons of powder in a building from 9/11. Powder. They don't know where the fuck it was from, just powder. But this ain't relevant.
Yeah, man, that's insane. I don't know, man.
That was a terrible movie as well.
I was expecting with passion to hear the testimony of Keegan Kline, but didn't happen, man.
Well, maybe both sides decided that was bad. You know, sometimes you can't polish a turd.
Yeah, there was a sentence that was said by Richard Allen in one of his confessions. He said that all was made by myself. Nobody else was involved. Something like that. You don't say that when you are confessing. Let's say if your partner asks you
Right.
Farmer, where were you 1 hour ago? You say I
Definitely
was
not Blue Eyes.
you're gonna say I was doing a video with Cryptex, or
Right.
I was doing a video with Cryptex and my dog, but you don't say I was doing a video with Cryptex by myself. Nobody else was with
Nobody
me.
does that, right?
Nobody. That was forced. It's really weird, man. There are things that
it feels like it. Well, you say it feels forced. I mean, you could say for sure it was. We'd have to see the video that somebody beating the crap out of him or something. And if that comes out, trust me, I mean that nothing would shock me in this world, because whether it's a good side or a bad side, there's a fine line between what you're getting charged interest wise. It's just a little bit higher if it's the mafia, that's all. But there's still just a fine line.
What do you think about the whole enhancement of the video, the stabilization process, the interpolation, they call it? Apparently, the actual bridge guy image image they have on that video was, I'm not going to say a pixel, but almost. And by a process of enhancement, they were able to create this bridge guy. And we were using that image since forever to do side by side.
Where's the original? Where's the original at?
It was presented during the trial.
So everybody saw the original at the trial. I'd be comfortable with whatever else then, because the jury saw the original. I don't know that to be a fact.
But they saw that pixel. What I mean is that after that whole process of how can I say, altering that video, they came to the bridge guy image we know now. But my point is how
that's relevant.
Yeah,
I'd like to see the original.
Exactly.
Personally.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I'd like Iowa Pappas to get a hold of the original, because I bet he'd find out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to I.
What do you think about Ron Logan? Do you think that there's something there, or not?
Anytime you create an alibi before a crime has been announced for a small window of time that a major murder has occurred on your property, yes. Red light, move on. I mean, is it worth asking? Yeah, sure. Is he guilty of anything? Hell, I have no idea. I'm a pizza guy from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I don't know who's guilty and who's not. Is it worth asking? Is it? But I don't see anything in what he said being a trajectory changing event, in the way that meeting in Anthony Shots is a trajectory changing event, because if he didn't have anything to do with it, well, then it's just mere coincidence that it happened on his property. He barely resembles Bridge Guy, and a much taller one, by the way. So to me, unless they chopped off some of Bridge Guy's like feet or something at Disney or NASA, or Pixar, whatever. Again, I hope the jury got to see all the original stuff and made their decision based on that, and not a recreation of zeros and ones.
Yeah, man. Let's go a little bit to the chat, if you're okay with that.
Go ahead. I can read it, or you can read it. I don't care, whatever you want.
No, your English is better than mine.
It's barely better, but I'll read it anyway. No way could an interpolated video be introduced in evidence for the state against a defendant in my circuit. Just seems alarming. Can someone please explain to me what interpolated means? That's a great word, but I have no idea what that means, honestly.
And apparently she is a lawyer, so that's a good point. Interpolation.
We can Google it also. I mean, I don't mind that, but I would like to know what that word means, because it seems germane.
Yeah, according to my understanding, interpolation is when you have pieces of information in a digital image, but you don't have other pieces because they are too blurry or they are not there. There's a software or artificial intelligence that is able to generate or to fill that void.
Okay.
So it's creating something just.
So that's good then. That's good that an interpolated video could not be introduced as evidence, but it could be released as a part of a sketch or part of hey, help us find this person, of course. Oh, criminal lawyer. Oh, good. Gen X, good. Then that sounds like a positive, not a bad thing. Okay.
Yeah, man. So yeah,
wow, there's a real lawyer watching this show.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Huh?
I'm nervous all of a sudden.
Yeah, me too.
I have a good lawyer.
We have a good crew here, man. Precocient. Go ahead, Farmer.
Oh, sorry, I was I was drifting. Precocient, I should say, says, oh, here we go, a definition. Interpolation, a computer algorithm makes up extra frames to create movement between two or more pictures. Okay, I get that on my own pictures that I take just on my cell phone. It'll do that and make little movements and stuff. Was actually super cool for my UAP recording that Scott Roeder verified along with the United States Pentagon. Move on.
Yeah, the Royal We.
Email chain provided upon request. I bring receipts.
Yeah. The Royal We, pretty sure the interpolated video was entered as evidence. Yeah, that's right. She's right. It was.
Wait. How was it entered as evidence? Now, I thought we just had the lawyer say you can't do that.
In her county, in her territory, but she's saying that she's criticizing that. In my county, in my state, I wouldn't allow to have that video as an evidence, but it happened here in this process. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought we were saying that didn't happen in this case. But if that actually happened, then that's not good.
Yeah,
that's just another check mark for the appeals process. Go ahead.
Matt Sullivan.
The lawyer will agree with that.
I don't think it was used as evidence. It was an expansion of the original video.
Okay.
But it was presented to the jurors anyway.
Well, it gets wonky, Matt. You know, Matt, it gets wonky at that point, which is for wonky people. And I'm wonky on some things, but forensics on video, I'll leave to Scott Roeder and professionals like that. But I appreciate their expertise and I take what they say highly regard of what those professionals say. Thank you for bringing that up, Matt. Mr. Sullivan.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about the whole mess that this investigation was, and if you remember, during the opening statements of the state, the prosecution, they were not able to put the screen in operation during the opening statements. So to me, it's a reflection of the whole investigation. Even during the case, they were doing
as its own metaphor, sure.
Yeah, man, exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at not just losing the chip or the tape or whatever from the Marathon gas station, but frying the hard drive on top of it, it's like, well, did you after that then turn it into ashes and sprinkle it in the fucking ocean to make sure no one could ever see what the evidence was? Asshole. Move on.
Yeah. Can you read this one from Lily?
Unbelievable.
I let you read this comment, Farmer.
Okay, Lily Shaw says, has anyone seen Michelle After Dark's latest video on the sticks? It's shocking. Obviously, it was a pattern. I haven't seen that. I'll look forward to watching it, Michelle After Dark, and looking at that. Thank you for the heads up, Lily. Thank you for watching us, and thank you for watching us today. I don't know what I bring to it. Like I said, I enjoy talking. I enjoy just chatting about these things, not even necessarily Delphi, but a full range of things.
I know that you haven't watched or you haven't seen the crime scene pictures of Farmer.
No.
So this video is a good video for you because you can see how the sticks were actually placed, but the bodies are filtered. You know, you're not gonna see the graphic crime scene, But you're going to have a great understanding that no, Lily is right. That video made by Michelle After Dark was
very well,
really interesting, man.
Well, I encourage everyone to go watch it.
Yep. Analyze it.
Being left-handed, I'm not ever. There we
go. Armero, you are my reader, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm not paying attention because I've been smoking, reefer. But anyways, Anna says, Lawyer Lee said unenhanced bridge guy was a spec and the audio was hard to understand. No wonder guys was withheld for a couple years. No one knows if it's guys or girls. Anna, come on, you're killing me. That's killing me. I mean, and not to say that word lightly, but that's disturbing. I hope that's just not true. I just hope that's just not true.
Yeah, man.
Todd says the BG video was needed to prove what BG was wearing, confirm who, clothing and appearance, the witnesses saw at trial, then connect them directly to Richard Allen and his own story. Good point. That is an excellent friggin' point. And so it's not always about the fine details of who is it to identify, how many pimples they have on their ass as it is to their gait, again, what they're wearing and other identifiable things. It's just everything was so damn blurry still. But I mean, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point to note, Todd. Very well said and noted. Thank you.
I would agree with the clothing element, but with the appearance,
Shay.
No, I don't think so.
Shay cracks me up. She said she's making her grocery list. Never know what's going to be on it while she's listening to this show. She's probably adding all kinds of things. I don't feel like it's over, but I do feel like at least somebody that had involvement or knowledge of this crime did get charged and sentenced properly, so I do feel that. I really do. I mean, and I'd like to pore over those confessions. I don't know if anyone has done so. If there's even just one minor detail that was never public knowledge, to me that says, hey, I knew something that nobody else did. Again, if there's not one public detail that wasn't public knowledge or that wasn't fed to him, then those like so much salt thrown over the shoulder.
Right. Analyze it. Why was the word guys withheld during years?
It's a good point, Anna. Damn, you are on it today.
I love Analyset's comments.
Because it's a conspiracy? I mean, what do you want me to say, I don't know.
Anna, you need a channel. You need a YouTube channel for yourself. I would be the first member for sure. Hey guys, by the way, hit the like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, hit the like. I'm gonna do that too once I get through here. Josh the Posh, of course, someone who's around at a lot of the shows. How you doing today, Josh the Posh? Are there any other cases where interpolated videos were admitted as evidence? I don't have the answer to that, but if anyone does and they want to throw it up in the chat, I'm catching at least every third comment at this point, so I'm improving, and we'll try to get that up there. But Cryptex is on it.
Yeah.
Shane. I was starting to learn my role. I mean, sorry you weren't here when I said I saw the CS pics the other day. Didn't want to. Those sticks are purposely placed over wounds. I'm sure of it. CS, crime scene. The crime scene pics. Yeah. Shane, I'm sorry you had to see those. I know you probably didn't even want to, but if you did and you felt it was a benefit, then good too. I don't think it's a bad thing. Todd says appearance means approximate height, weight, size, nature, stature, scale compared to bridge, etc. Not BG's exact height or facial details. And again, I think you're making relevant points here. Did he meet those marks? I think he did. And so I do feel like he was bridge guy. Thank you for saying so.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. And when Todd talks about the height, remember that the state law enforcement, they didn't pay $10,000 to do a good estimation of the height of a bridge guy. This is really because they needed resources for other priorities or something like that. $10,000 to know exactly what was the bridge
I'm
guy's
sorry. I
height.
just have a quick question. How does not look? I don't know how to do it myself because I'm not good with techie stuff. But how wouldn't even just a college kid or a high school kid know how to go to the bridge, recreate the scene from the angle, and then put it through a computer program and go, oh, he's exactly this tall? Like, why the cops forensically can't determine how fucking tall someone is when there's a 3D image going on all around them, and they can actually go to the scene to the exact angle of where the girls were standing from that perspective, but yet they can't come up with a height? Well, what can they do? What can they do?
Yeah, 100%. As USA Libertarian says, it wouldn't even cost $10,000. That was ridiculous.
I don't mean to be disrespectful to law enforcement. I'm not, because again, a conservation officer saved my life with good instinct, and I have the highest amount of regard for. But I just don't understand how. I don't even get how you could have satellites all flying up in the sky and you could see, like I said, a golf ball on a Soviet golf course, but you can't manage to find missing kids with one. Like, I just don't understand. Why can't we use our shit for better reasons, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Hybrid pieces, she says that she's making dinner, but listening to
yeah,
Farmer.
Definitely eat. It's not that great of a conversation. It's nothing to miss dinner for. I mean, what are you having? Hybrid. What are you having? As a vegetarian, I'm guessing name. Let's see, maybe pescatarian. I'll wait.
Let's wait for the answer. Eye of Apophis, he says that the program or the process to estimate the height is called photometry. Photometry? I'm sorry. Photogrammetry. Photogrammetry.
Oh yeah, whatever that word is. Yeah, it's a lot of what do you call it? Syllables? But yeah, thank you, and whatever department you're with. I won't say anything.
This is a comment from our awesome lawyer. So can you read it, please, Farmer?
Yeah, okay. Gen X Girl Lawyer says, I suppose, I think I'm Gen X too, I think, if Jen something, Jenny. I think both sides agree after having their respective experts reviewing the interpolated video, then a court would admit it. So maybe that's what happened here, just speculating a little, not sure. Thank you, very lawyery answer, but the proper one, because we don't know. Josh the Posh throwing in some cash. Damn, Farmer, I've known a lot of pizza guys in my life. Goodness, they usually have good, logical heads on them. That's right. Thank you for saying that, Josh. I'm not just a pizza delivery guy. I've run successful stores and stuff, too, and marketing and so forth.
Thank you so much, Josh, for the support. Shane, I will also say, and I'm not expert, but those cuts on the girls' necks were done with a Stanley blade.
Stanley, that's a brand name.
That's a box cutter?
Well, it's a brand name nonetheless. He's associating with a particular brand name. Don't care about RA Confession, might be BS, but they look like it. You know, I mean, I can't disagree at this point. Like I said, I haven't poured through them and then gotten corroborating opinions from verifiable sources. So I can't say anything about that. USA Libertarian says 10,000 was just a number they made up to make not spending it sounds almost plausible. Right, I get what you're saying. Like, make up something so they say, oh, glad they didn't waste that money, when it was something they very well should have wasted gosh dang money on. Next.
This is an answer for you, Farmer, about the satellites.
The great Iva Pappas says there are espionage laws against using our satellites for law enforcement.
Yeah. From the 3021 from Australia. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, from the 3021, if not public knowledge, how do we know it's true? And let's be real, how could we trust it wasn't spoon-fed to him after their underhanded tactics? Maria Robinson, let her share her experience. I haven't heard her experience, so if she has something to say, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So hybrid is cooking, not eating, making chicken casserole.
Okay.
Anyone like it?
All right. I love chicken casserole. That's a wonderful dish. You should try some.
Yeah, for sure, man. We have here
comfort food.
It seems that there are commercial satellite services that can be exploited by law enforcement, though.
And Simdal with the backhand back across the net. So there you go. So what about that, right? Good point. Boom. I agree. I guess. Apparently.
Yeah. USA says that Tom Webster got satellite images could have possibly been used to
yeah, no, I get that, libertarian. I want the good ones. I want the ones that show, the pimple on the ass good, the ones where you can actually make out something instead of like anomalous. Like, yeah, I get it when you're recording UAP. They actually have technology that prevents you from recording them properly, but this is a different deal. So, yeah.
Yeah. Seemed that enough resolution to find that car.
Right. That's what I'm saying, and that's what you already have, obviously, previously, the point you made.
Yeah, exactly. This is a good point from USA. Funny how rules against spying on us is used to prevent exonerating someone. Great point, huh?
Well, I can't disagree with about, 70% of what libertarians say. It's that other, fucking 30% that's a little batshit, but I get you. That's one of the good ones.
I have a question for lawyer. What's her name again? Gen X.
Gen X girl lawyer.
If you're still here, Jen, do you think that in the case Richard Allen is going with an appeal, that appeal is going to be successful or not, according to your experience?
Good
if
question.
You're still there, I would like to know your opinion about that. Annalisette, there are private satellites, and recently a wooden one launched.
I saw that. That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, well, Anna with the forehand across the net, bam. I agree. Once again with Anna Lizette.
Yeah. Todd, go ahead, Farmer.
Yeah, so Todd says to USA Libertarian, Tom Webster specifically reached out to private satellite companies for help. One replied, and who wouldn't? He's very charming and well-dressed, with photos that included the CPS building parking lot, but they apparently weren't very clear. True, I saw those actually, and they weren't very clear. But I think there was like a car, maybe. I don't know. I guess I don't remember the details, but I do remember he did have that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And good on Tom for making an attempt to get somewhere that we couldn't get. There's a classy guy, and anybody that can wear an IZOD and make it look that good gets a thumbs up from me.
Now, mad respect for Tom Webster, man. He's convinced that Richard Allen is guilty, but just the research he made during the whole process, the attempt to get that kind of information from satellite, etc. He's great, elegant, decent, not into drama. I really love Tom Webster, even if I disagree with some of his points. But great guy.
I like good broadcasting. I'm really as much as I sort of became obsessed with this case because it's so enigmatic. It's so mysterious. It's like a Disturbing Nancy Drew book, but on a real, like, other level, like human, real, actual, terrible level. But still, I could still see those steps, like, leading off into nowhere on the cover of that Nancy Drew book. Like, where's Nancy going? She doesn't even know, because you don't know where you're going to end up in this case. And that's what makes it so, whatever it is, whatever that secret sauce is, unfortunately, it costed two innocent girls their lives. So to get lost in that is something I try not to do, but there is a drag of some sort, that maybe it's their spirit or something that keeps it alive. I don't know, what it is, but something's keeping it relevant. And as long as I'm continuing to get that message from wherever it's coming from, I'm going to keep it relevant.
We have an answer from Jen Lawyer. Go ahead, Farmer.
Okay, Gen X girl lawyer says, in answer to my previous question, I think he has some decent arguments. Actually, Cryptex's question, but I don't do appellate work. I am strictly a trial court attorney. Also, I am not familiar with Indiana law. Look, no one's familiar with Indiana law. No one can even get to that place. It's like you try to get there and you do end up going in a time warp. And but thank you for your honest and candid answer. I appreciate that. I really do. And I just want to say about lawyers in general, I find like any other profession, there can be heroes and there can be villains, and there are plenty of heroes in the lawyering world.
It would be good to have a show with Jen Lawyer, a farmer. The
sure would. Yeah. Maybe we should talk about maybe developing like some sort of verbal relationship with this person.
Yeah.
Maybe off camera.
Jen, got a lawyer. You can send me
Anytime.
an email and we can have a show with you. Your feedback is going to be really interesting. A professional like you is going to be awesome here.
Once I get set up on the road, I'm going to be in my my cargo van soon, I hope, once I sell this joint. I mean, I also have a home base picked out and a couple of regular vehicles, but I'll be delivering nationwide in my van, and I'll have the Musk, what do they call that? That Musk net, you know, Elon net or whatever, with the satellite string thing that goes over. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to doing a lot of shows at twice the normal speed on the road.
Cool, man. Everyone here, please subscribe to Farmer if you're not.
Don't have to.
Yeah, man. You're
awesome, man. We love you. Want to go ahead, Derek Farmer. It's Derek_Farmer at, well, how do I spell it? It's at Derek_Farmer, and that's it. That's all it is, because that's my name. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I don't bullshit about my name or where I'm from.
What are you gonna talk about in your channel? OVNIs, stuff like that, UFOs?
All that. I mean, I don't just talk about UFOs. I mean, I'm an experiencer. Again, I have the video of my experience. Scott Roeder himself has seen that video. He's verified it by saying, wow, Farmer, that video is legit. So to me, that verifies it. Now, he said he was going to go on to analyze it and have me on his show, but he hasn't gotten to that point. And I heard him on Jim Quirk's show say, Quirk Zone is one of my favorite shows from Jim Quirk, a great truth teller on the subject. I encourage everyone to join that channel, and Cryptex is not mine. I'm not a great anything but a pizza delivery guy or delivery guy. It doesn't have to be pizza. I've delivered weed. Okay, I'm good at that too.
Do you deliver to Canada?
Legally, by the way, not to Canada weed, but I mean legally here. It's legal to deliver marijuana, cannabis. Do I deliver to Canada? I never have. That's a long way to take a pizza. It has to be a lot of pizza and a lot of gratuity added on for me, but I may be delivering to Canada in my new cargo van. Boom. And when I do, I don't remember which one of the, well, you guys call them provinces, but down here we just call them big states. I don't remember which one of them big states you went up there. There's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 of them. I don't remember. I don't watch enough Canadian football to know who a gray dog is or a bull dog. You know, I don't know what's going on up there in Canada. Only that I've driven across it the long way, and it's gorgeous, and the people are wonderful.
Yeah, I just dropped channel's address in the chat, so you can subscribe to
my address is 1608 Jefferson Avenue, Kalamazoo, Michigan, 49006. My house is for sale publicly on realtor.com if you want to look and see where I live now.
Thank you for the information. I don't know, man. I think from my side, that's it. I don't know if you have a final conclusion or final thoughts.
I didn't have anything to start with. Wherever we end is where we end. So if you say it's over to me. I could talk about anything, though. I mean, honestly, but I've had a really good time here today.
Yeah, me too, man. No, I have to prepare a little bit of information for the next show tonight. So it was great, man.
Sure.
As usual, I'm so happy you're back.
That was your warm up, baby.
Don't disappear. You know,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're always a cordial host. I love coming on your show anytime that I'm available to do so. I'll continue to do so. I'll try not to dump hot beverages into this computer, and it's always nice to break back into an environment after not doing it for a while. You know, that you're comfortable in. And Cryptex, if anything, you always make me comfortable. Now my dogs, you can probably hear them, are starting to get a little pissed off, so it's probably a good time to end it.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Farmer.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Remember, justice for the Flora 4.
For sure. For sure. And see you tonight, guys, if you are able to catch the live about Timmy D's, Barbara's whole son.
Lower leisure class.
So see you later, guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Ciao. Thanks, you guys.
See ya.
Take care, Crip.